Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the little home. You're getting the morning Julie. I'm still waking up, but I'm really happy to be with you all this morning, and I hope you're having a good week, enjoying the beautiful weather, and getting outside a little bit. It's my turn to share a devotion with you this morning, so I thought I would just share some thoughts that came to me this morning in my quiet time. This is Holy Week, and today is Holy Thursday, also called Maundy Thursday. And they call it Maundy Thursday because Maundy refers to that word command, and it's talking about Jesus' command to his disciples to love one another. So I never knew that before. That's something I learned this morning. So today is the day when Jesus had Passover with his disciples. Tomorrow is Good Friday, when Jesus was crucified, and we hope you'll all join us for the Good Friday service tomorrow at 6. But today is the day of his Passover feast, and it's the day that Jesus washed the disciples' feet and spoke to them about his death. And it's the day that Judas betrayed Jesus. It's the day that Jesus took his disciples to the garden and prayed for them, and then right after that they fell asleep while the enemy came in and the guards took Jesus. So I was reading back through the chapters in John that go into a lot of rich detail about Jesus' last words to his disciples before he died. And it's amazing to me that even knowing what was about to happen to him, Jesus was so focused on the people he loved. He was so focused on his disciples, and he talked with them with such an urgency about the things that he wanted them to know and the things he wanted them to hang on to. And John spends a really large part of his book just sharing these last words of Jesus before he was crucified and these few hours that he had with his disciples. So these are really important words. These are the things that Jesus wanted us to remember. You know, a lot of times the things that people say when they know they're about to die become the most important words of their life. And I think that's definitely true here with Jesus. So if you're looking for a good spiritual exercise to do today, I'd encourage you to spend some time with these chapters in John, from John 12 to 18 and beyond if you want, as it talks about his crucifixion. But as I was doing this morning, I made two lists. I made a list of the commands that Jesus was giving his disciples and then the promises that he was giving them in these words. Here are just a few of the things that I wrote down. So here are some of the things that Jesus promised his disciples in these words the night before he died. I go and prepare a place for you, and I will come again and take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. I will give you a helper to be with you forever. I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Because I live, you also will live. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. He who abides in me bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. Truly, truly, I say to you, you will weep and lament, but the world will rejoice. You will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will turn into joy. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. I mean, look at how focused he was on his disciples and on what he wanted them to hold on to in this moment. And then here's just a few of the commands that he gave. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. Love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in me. That's a command. Don't be troubled. Believe. If you love me, keep my commandments. Abide in me and I in you. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Ask what you will in my name, and I will give it to you. That's a promise too. So there are many more truths and riches in those chapters, so I do encourage you to read those on your own. But one thing really stuck out to me this morning, and that's that in Jesus' final prayer, his main concern was that his people should be one. Here's what he said at the end of his prayer when he was praying for us. I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth. For those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they may also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. So that's one of the very last things he said before they arrested Jesus. And he said, this is how the world will know that Jesus was sent by God when his children are one. And he says, I have made known to them your name, and I will continue to make it known, that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. So, in a sense, Jesus' dying wish was for us to be one in him. And he knew that the only way the world would believe would be for his followers to be one and to love as one. He says, this is how the world will know, when we are one. So right after Jesus prayed all these words, he began to pray for himself and to look ahead at what was waiting for him. And all his disciples fell asleep. So they didn't see when the enemy came in. And when the enemy did come, Jesus was talking to his Father, and his disciples were sleeping. They weren't ready, and so instead of being one and going with Jesus as one, they scattered and they ran away in fear. I was thinking about how the enemy is using fear right now to accomplish his goals, to steal and kill and destroy. Satan wants to scatter us and isolate us and make us afraid of one another. He wants us to stare at that enemy that is coming for us instead of talking to the Father. But Jesus said this, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. So after Jesus' death, the disciples were all shut up in a room and they were afraid. They were afraid to go out because there was an enemy out there. But Jesus came to them and he gave them his presence. And we all know that eventually they did go out. But a little later on, they were in a room again when they received the Holy Spirit. And God brought them people from all around the world to hear their message of hope and unity and peace and forgiveness. So he said, I made known to them your name, and I will continue to make it known, that the love with which you have loved me may be in them and I in them. As I was thinking about this morning, I just think we have a similar opportunity. My phone is falling. Hold on. I think we have a similar opportunity here. We can't physically be with one another, and our enemy wants to scatter us and make us afraid. But even as we're in our own separate rooms, the Holy Spirit can make us one. And we have platforms to speak his name and make his name known to the world. Whenever in history have God's children had the ability to spread his word as quickly as we can through the internet and all of the means we have right now? What if we, his children, rose up as one and we made his name known by the love we have for one another? God isn't surprised by the coronavirus or the quarantine. This hasn't taken him by surprise and overwhelmed his power at all. And what Satan intends for evil right now, God can use for good. And in every generation, God gives us the tools we need to make his name known. So I'm praying that we'll rise above all the division and the fear and even just the distraction and the pettiness, and that we, his children, will be the voice of peace. We do that by looking to our Father, as Jesus did, and not just focusing on the enemy. So you guys, it's Holy Week. It's the time of remembering the hope we have. That hope is more alive than ever, and it's more needed than ever. So spend some time today remembering what Jesus has promised you and asking him who needs that hope right now and how he wants you to give it. And let's be bold and let's be brave, and let's not run like the disciples did, but let's make his name known together. As we celebrate what he did for us this weekend and we celebrate the hope that we have, let's offer that hope to a world that really needs it. Let's be brave and let's make his name known. So I love you all. Thanks for listening and watching, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with and in all of us this weekend. Enjoy your day.